Well, I don't know about downplaying. The press upplays it. I think it's all a witch hunt. That's all. I think it's a witch hunt. I wasn't involved with it. I wasn't there, but I can tell you the result is unbelievable because the Houthis are looking to do something. They want to know, how do we stop? How do we stop? Can we have peace? The Houthis want peace. Hegseth is doing a great job. He had nothing to do with this. How do you bring Hegseth into it? He had nothing to do with it. Look, it's all a witch hunt.
Who have said today that your administration should take more accountability and not downplay what's happened with signal that we've seen in these messages today.
Well, I don't know about downplaying. The press upplays it. I think it's all a witch hunt. That's all. I think it's a witch hunt. I wasn't involved with it. I wasn't there, but I can tell you the result is unbelievable because the Houthis are looking to do something. They want to know, how do we stop? How do we stop? Can we have peace? The Houthis want peace, because they're getting the hell knocked out of them. It's been very, very strong. The Houthis are dying for peace. They don't want this. And they're bad. Look, they were knocking ships out of the ocean. You know, we had in the Suez Canal, they only have about 20% of the ships going through. They have to go through a different way, which takes weeks of travel. And that really affects commerce. But the Houthis have been hit hard and they want to negotiate peace. But I don't think they're quite.
Do you still believe there was nothing classified that was shared?
Say it?
Do you still believe nothing classified was shared?
Well, that's what I've heard. I don't know. I'm not sure. You'll have to ask the various people involved. I really don't know. I can only tell you this. You know, you don't want to talk about it. The Houthis have been horrible to the world. What they've done, killed a lot of people, and knocked down a lot of ships and planes and anything else. You know, it's not just the ships. And they have been hit. They have been hit harder than they've ever been hit, and they want us to stop so badly. And they've got to stop. They've got to say no mas. But I can only say that the attacks. It's attacks every day, every night. It's not just the one. You're talking about one. The attacks have been very successful, even beyond our wildest expectations. We've hit them very hard, very successfully. And we're going to do it for a long time. We're going to keep it going for a long time.
Senate Republicans have said that they have formally asked the administration for an Inspector General report on the signal issue. Will you agree to that?
It doesn't bother me. I don't know. I want to find if there's any mistake or if a signal doesn't work. It could be that signal is not very good. It's a company, and maybe it's not very good. I think we'd rather know about it now. There was no harm done because the attack was unbelievably successful that night, and it has been unbelievably successful every single night for the last 4 or 5 nights. So,
and
that's the thing that you should be talking about.
Yeah.
This is something that should have been done by sleepy Joe Biden, but he was asleep at the wheel, other than when it came to stealing money, of course. Joe Biden should have done this attack on Yemen, which is basically a certain group within Yemen, the Houthis, and this should have been done by Joe Biden, and it wasn't, and that's caused this world a lot of damage and a lot of problems.
So Mr. President, he's responsible, but he's also overseeing the investigation to find out what went wrong. Maybe
who's responsible?
Mike Waltz says that he's responsible.
Well, yeah, Mike Waltz, I guess he claimed responsibility, I would imagine. It had nothing to do with anyone else. It was Mike, I guess. I don't know. I was told it was Mike. But again, the attacks were unbelievably successful, and that's ultimately what you should be talking about, I think. So Mike took responsibility for it. Say it?
Should Secretary Hegseth consider his position over the signal?
Hegseth is doing a great job. He had nothing to do with this. How do you bring Hegseth into it? He had nothing to do with it. Look, it's all a witch hunt. Here we are talking about some of the greatest business deals ever made. The greatest companies in the world are moving into the United States, and you want to ask about whether or not Signal works. I don't know that Signal works. I think Signal could be defective, to be honest with you. And I think that's what we have to, because you use Signal and we use Signal and everybody uses Signal, but it could be a defective platform, and we're going to have to find that out.
Mr. President,
Today, Director Gabbard testified that any information that would indicate that the U.S. or its allies are going to make an attack should be classified. The Secretary of Defense has said that the information in those messages was not classified. Are you going to ask him to review whether it should have been, should flight times and sequencing
Sure,
be
I'll ask him
classified?
to do. Sure, I would. It would be. You can view that two ways, frankly. There's a lot of ways to answer that question, but I'd certainly ask him to take a look at
Should
it.
they
So,
have
Mr.
really
President,
when they did this, was it in hindsight, should they have like,
Well, there may be,
or not? Should
there
they
may
still-
be a problem with the platform, and if there's a problem with the platform, nobody should use it. You know, they could have a basic problem, but you know, I say it again: the attack was so successful, it was so lethal. Not that I'm looking for lethality. I wish we didn't have to do it at all, but they're shooting down our ships, they're shooting down our planes, and we can't allow that to happen. And again, this is something that should have been done by Biden a long time ago, or one or two more.
So, Mr. President, you've criticized Jeffrey Goldberg. Have you asked your national security advisor how he had his phone number in his phone?
We have asked a lot of questions, and we're going to try finding all those things out. No, I just know Goldberg is a sleazebag. You know, his magazine's terrible. He's just a guy that I never had a lot of respect for.